Hello, and glad to have you here. It's Thursday, and it's my last day going live this week. And I wanted to talk about evaluation and how important that is to your life and your business. And, when should you evaluate those things? So as I am, bringing this to you today, I hope that it's helpful. I hope that it's something that you find that is important to do and that it helps you in some simple way that you can use it. And so as you're hopping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Let me know what you think about this topic today. And let me introduce myself to those of you that I haven't had the pleasure of meeting. My name is Cherie Woodard, and I help social sellers to use social media to to find, gotta get rid of that to find their ideal prospects and customers without doing those things that we don't really like to do, like chasing and pushing and being salesy and kind of sleazy and that kind of thing. So my hope is to help you to find a better way, and that is what I did, and that is why I'm online. And I really like being online. I like being able to come on and do lives, and I like being able to do the whole, 9 yards of what it means to come online. And it's a lot of stuff, but it's a lot of important things that you learn as you grow. But it's so worth it for me to not do the things that I was doing before. So I have notes down here, so you'll see me looking down periodically. And I just want to, first of all, say that as I am talking about this evaluation thing, this evaluation of life and business, this is something that I learned a long time ago, when I first joined this mentorship education company. And I learned so many things that I didn't realize that I needed because I was building an old school way, and I wasn't getting that. And so I was very happy to find that there were skill sets that you needed to learn. There are, not were, but there are skill sets that we need to learn. There are things that we need to learn and grow in so that we can be of better service to those people that we want to serve, those people that we want to help. So feel free to drop in your questions, your comments, your opinions, whatever that may be, as long as it's on this topic. And you can always reach me in Messenger if you have questions, you want to go deeper. So let's get started. I would also like to definitely give credit for this evaluation, the way that I'm going to share this evaluation thing with you, to Melissa and Blair Dunkley, because those are the people that actually uh, made this evaluation setup that I'm going to talk about today different compared to some of the other evaluations that I've done in the past, in school and then as a nurse, and so on and so on. So this is a way of evaluating yourself without beating yourself down, and that is the main thing that I really like about the way that they uh, decided to and put it out there of a different way to evaluate without going, beating yourself up, without feeling bad about yourself. and so anyway. So as far as how important is evaluation, what do you think? Share with me what it is that you think about evaluation. Do you evaluate yourself? Do you evaluate what's happening around you in your job, in your business, in your everyday life, in your family? Do you evaluate the things that are going on? Because I think when we don't, things that may not be a problem initially can end up being a problem because it wasn't something that we paid attention to and decided to take care of it. And the way to do that is to evaluate what's going on. Maybe, and just for an example, wife and husband, partners, having more and more frustrations, irritations with each other, and not really seeking to find out what's going on, and evaluating that and doing it together and sharing and talking and those types of things that can lead to that. And I think if we evaluated our lives, if we evaluated our businesses and other things that are important to us, it would help us to be better people. It would help us to be better in our mindset. It would help us to be better at being able to learn and tolerate certain things and not tolerate other things. So I think evaluation is something that's really, really important. I think it should be a part of our daily lives. And that's my opinion. Everybody is different, so it may be different for you, but I noticed as I have been in this education mentorship program that I have been more evaluative of myself to the point that I really realized, and this is just a really quick background story. I realized that I was living in so much clutter that it was just ridiculous, and I didn't evaluate that in advance. I go through periods of depression, anxiety, and sometimes when I do that, then I don't do as much as I should do to keep things on a level, on a certain level so that I can be better tolerant, happier, and just, a better person. And as I started evaluating myself and started listening and thinking and finally figuring out some things, I decluttered, most of my I have 2 levels, and I've decluttered most of the level where most of the clutter was, and I still do that. I have an accountability partner who helps me with that, and, so it's just something that if I hadn't thought about it and evaluated it and looked at, what I was doing to myself, especially with paper, that it wouldn't have ever gotten better because I just wouldn't have taken the time, if I hadn't taken the time. And I got onto that from one of my mentors who was talking about how you can find so much clutter in certain drawers, and sometimes cleaning those drawers out, you find stuff that you don't need. You can toss it or give it away or whatever. So this evaluation thing is something that I find really important, and it's so important to my life. And I hope eventually it will be important to you in your life. So it helps you to keep from being stuck as well. That was also where I was very stuck. So now the way that let me look at the time. Yeah. What I'm going to do is just kind of go over how they said to do or how they've taught us to do evaluations so that we're not getting into because I could have been like, oh, I'll never get this done, or I'll never be able to, declutter my house. I've got so much stuff, and so much paper. I don't think I can do this. But, this way of evaluating gave me a way to see positives and some negatives, and what did I need to change and what could I do about it. So um, their way of evaluating and the way that I was taught was, and I had changed the words, but I'm going to go on and use the words that I was taught. So it's the first one is what worked about, whatever it was that you were doing. What worked in that situation? So in your relationship, in your family, in your business, in your, job, that kind of thing. And I mean, I used to get evaluated yearly, and also depending on what else I was doing, whatever time frame they had set as a job, when I was working. And I never thought about doing it for myself, my own life, and that kind of thing, until I got, like I said, till I joined this company, this community that, was interested in teaching us things that would help us in life and business. And so and the thing about this is, what worked, you would only be allowed to say 3 things that worked, so that you wouldn't get into, being being inflated about this and that, and yeah, I could do this and that. And I'm looking for my um I had a little clip here for my fan, because now I'm starting to get hot. I do that though. I got a fan though. Got my little fan here. I also have a fan off to the side. But anyway, so you could only do 3 things. You could only say 3 things that worked. You could only And then after that, you could only say 2 things that didn't work, and you could only say 1 thing that you might do differently, that would make things maybe a little bit better or whatever. But basically, that is what they did. That's how they, would allow us to evaluate ourselves, and how they would evaluate us as well, our mentors and what have you. And that really did help me, because I was into, unfortunately, it was one of those people that, was like, I used to, say bad things to myself, and, just not give myself a break, not give myself grace, not, I was just always wanting to, oh, look how stupid, now how stupid was that, or how, how ridiculous was that, so on and so on. And then after learning this, I learned not to beat myself up. I'm not perfect, so every now and then a word may still, because we have so many thoughts running through our heads. There may be something that, I might say that's a negative, and then I'll take that back. I'll say, no, cancel, or no, I'm not going to do that to myself, because I am, a person who's well loved and cared for, and I love and care for myself, and, something to get rid of that negative. And I just learned that through doing this evaluation type. And like I said, this was something that I learned when I joined this organization, this community, and it just made so much more sense on how I was evaluating myself, and how I was evaluating what I was doing as far as my business is concerned, and to be able to do it in a way that wasn't uh, you know, uh, a real negative. And then and then like I said, when you do the two things that did not work, okay, that's it. You can't do anymore. Well, I did this wrong and I did that wrong and I shouldn't have done this and I shouldn't have done that. Well, but the rules are three things that worked, two things that didn't work, and one thing that you might do better, one thing that you might do differently, one thing and that's it. And so then I would think of that one thing that I might do better and move on instead of staying there saying I should have did this, I should have done that, and I need to do this better and that better, and so on and so on. So I hope that this evaluation method from Melissa and Blair Dunkley helps you to, when you evaluate yourself, to use this 3-2-1 method where it's not something that's a negative, it's not something that's beating you down, it's not something that's allowing you to be hard on yourself. It allows you to give yourself grace because it takes time for us to learn and grow, especially when we're doing something different. And I came from being a registered nurse in a hospital for 40 years. And, then to be in business is something really different. And I was really hard on myself. And I was, not being kind, not giving myself any type of grace, not giving myself any type of a break to say, it takes time to learn, it takes time to grow, So with this way of evaluating and knowing there was a need to, first of all, knowing there was a need to evaluate, and then and then learning how to evaluate myself without beating myself down was a really good thing for me, and I hope it's a really good thing for you. So if you have any questions or comments, and I'm not seeing anything in the box right now, and you want to drop them in later, your opinions, whatever that is, please do so. I always come back and check, and you can always, like I said, reach me in Messenger, and you can and then we can go deeper on maybe some examples that you have questions about or whatever, but this is one of the best things that ever happened to me, to be able to because I never even thought about giving myself grace. I never even thought about not beating myself up until I joined this community and learned this way of evaluating my life, my business, and other things as well. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope that, like I said, that this is something simple that you think you can do. And Today is Thursday. It's my last day going live this week. Next week, I can't. I'll have to check and see, but I know that I have a class that's going to be going on during the time that normally going live. So I'll probably be going either later or earlier, or I may just not go live that week. But I will let you know. I'll post it in my um, on my page here. So I hope that you have a good rest of your day wherever you are in the world, and the weekend's coming up, and fall is here, and I love fall. So I hope that wherever you are, I know the weather's probably different. So have a good one, and I will see you again next week. So take care. Talk soon. Bye now.